Imagine you're a non-EU resident on vacation, bringing a coffee machine for personal use. At customs, officials might allow you to bring it in without paying VAT, but with conditions. First, you must take it back out within 18 months. Second, you cannot use it to make money. And third, it must be for personal use only. This is called temporary admission, private use, a way to bring personal items into a country without paying import duties, as long as they leave within the allowed time and are not used for business. So, if you ever bring something for personal use, remember the rules of temporary admission, private use. Now, what if you said, "I want to sell coffee"? You'd still get a partial tax break under temporary admission, commercial use, but with specific rules. First, you must collect and pay VAT on any coffee powder, sugar, or cream you buy locally, and you cannot claim it back. Second, you must leave with your coffee machine by the 18-month mark. And third, you can't sell to EU residents. This is called temporary admission, commercial use. It allows you to bring in equipment for business activities with some tax benefits, as long as you follow the conditions. So, if you bring something for business, remember the rules of temporary admission, commercial use. The same principle applies to yachts under temporary admission. Under temporary admission, the yacht must be registered outside the EU. The owner must be a non-EU resident, and only non-EU residents can charter it. This means a yacht can cruise EU waters for up to 18 months, free of import duties and VAT, but it must leave once that period ends. So, if you're bringing a yacht into the EU, remember the rules of temporary admission. Why is temporary admission important to the EU? Without it, many non-EU yacht owners would likely avoid visiting European waters due to the high VAT costs they would have to pay on arrival. Temporary admission makes European waters more accessible, encouraging more visitors and benefiting the maritime economy. If you're an EU resident, you don't qualify for temporary admission. Instead, you follow standard EU VAT rules. For private use, you pay VAT on the yacht's value. For commercial use, you pay less VAT upfront. You can reclaim VAT on fuel, maintenance, and provisions if the yacht is operated commercially. In short, EU residents don't qualify for temporary admission. Private yachts pay VAT, commercial ones get a lower rate, and VAT on fuel, maintenance, and supplies can be reclaimed for commercial use. Imagine you brought your yacht into the EU under a private arrangement, but now you'd like to charter it out. Under current rules, you must switch from a pleasure registration to a commercial one. This often means leaving EU waters, re-entering under a commercial declaration, and dealing with fresh customs paperwork. It's a resource-intensive voyage. Time, fuel, and administrative costs all add up. In short, the switching regime is doable, but increasingly complicated. So why not simply register your yacht as commercial from the start? Because commercial registration in the EU has its own hurdles. Many jurisdictions require a minimum number of charters each year to justify your commercial status. If you want personal use, say a family holiday, you're still expected to sign a charter agreement at market rates and pay VAT on that rental. Failing to meet charter quotas or pay appropriate VAT can lead to penalties. We've seen how the existing options, switching regime or full commercial registration, can be restrictive for owners who primarily enjoy their yachts privately, but want to charter occasionally. The Yacht Engaged in Trade (YET) scheme was created to solve this exact problem. Under YET, You keep the yacht registered as a pleasure vessel for private use. When you want to charter, you use your Yeti certificate, without leaving EU waters or fully switching to commercial registration. You also avoid paying VAT for personal use at commercial rates or meeting strict yearly charter quotas. By switching between private and commercial activity within the EU, Yet aims to reduce administrative barriers while remaining compliant with EU regulations. For yacht owners who want flexibility, the YAT scheme offers a smarter way to operate. Now that we've seen what the Yeti scheme entails, let's talk about who benefits and how. First and foremost, yacht owners enjoy flexibility. With Yet, there's no need to sail out of EU waters just to switch from private cruising to commercial charters. Owners also avoid paying VAT on their own personal use, unlike a fully commercial yacht that requires the owner to sign a charter agreement with themselves at market rates. What about the European Union? Are they missing out on tax revenue? Not really. The Yet framework only applies to yachts that are already under temporary admission or have fully paid VAT. That means EU tax authorities aren't losing out on existing revenue. In fact, by making Europe a more attractive base for large yachts, the Yeti scheme encourages high-spending visitors and longer stays. These guests bring significant revenue into local economies through marina fees, hospitality, dining, and tourism, which ultimately benefits EU member states. By offering Yet as an alternative, we can accommodate owners who want both leisure and commercial usage, all while maintaining the same safety standards as traditional commercial yachts. It's a win-win for everyone. No watered-down regulations, just streamlined paperwork and more options on the table. To qualify for the Yacht Engaged in Trade (YET) scheme, a yacht must meet strict technical requirements. It must be at least 24 meters in length. Registry. It must hold a Virgin Islands Pleasure Certificate of British Registry. It must pass a compliance verification survey. It must be classified by a recognized classification society. It must follow full commercial standards at all times. And it must have a documented system for planned maintenance. Meeting these criteria ensures the yacht operates legally under the Yeti scheme. The Yet scheme comes with specific operational restrictions. A yacht can operate under Yet for a maximum of 84 charter days per calendar year. Each charter is limited to a maximum of 12 passengers. For non-VAT paid yachts, initial charters are restricted to Monaco, France, Croatia, and Greece. This may be updated over time. Only non-EU residents or entities can charter under Yet unless VAT is paid. Finally, there's no VAT exemption on fuel and supplies. They remain subject to VAT. Applying for Yet requires specific steps from the yacht owner or operator. First, submit the Yeti application forms along with the master's declaration. Next, the survey department reviews compliance documents. Additional surveys may be required if any are missing. Then, the requested Yet operating days must be verified to ensure they do not exceed 84 per calendar year. Finally, once approved, the yacht will receive a certificate of British Registry, Yachts Engaged in Trade.